back under passage, even if it is only for a half a day. And we had gotten in the habit of watching a TV show right before bed. And so what we were going to do is move the TV here out. And then where there's better airflow, sit out here. Bam. Walking along the boardwalk here in St Croix, and this boat right behind us just let off their crew, and they were cleaning up and everything, and they were gonna throw away a whole thing of alcohol, and we're like, well, we'll take some. And it was a full bottle, but he filled this up, gave it to us, but then he still dumped out a whole pitcher, like those big pitchers they throw in the football coaches, of ice and this. We're like, no! What?
And we gave them a sticker.
Oh, and all that because we gave them some GTFO stickers. Yeah!
Score.
Ah, there we go.
We're pretending, Dennis.
Cheers!
Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers!
Congratulations.
Congrats!
On
Thank
your,
you.
on your adventures.
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
St. Croix.
This fort dates back to the late mid-1700s when the Danish still had control here. Sugar was probably their primary crop, imported a lot of slaves, and this is the main harbor area. But you can see, even back then, they were concerned about COVID, so there you go, get your hand sanitizer. Small dungeon where they would put criminals, runaways. Man, I'm 6'1", and I cannot stand here. And this is like an isolation chamber. You can see the hinges on the doors that used to be here. And there's one little window to look out of. See, there used to be some kind of a wood structure there. Again, another little isolation room. You get sequestered in.
Someone's making me a special breakfast today.
So we got to St. Croix, Virgin Islands, went to a little grocery store and found Scrapple, which we love and we haven't seen in ages. So here we are.
Yeah. Isn't it a Pennsylvania thing?
It's kind of that lower southeast Pennsylvania, upper New Jersey kind of thing.
And what do you do with it?
You just cook it up and then you eat it. It's delicious.
Yum, I can't wait.
And some people don't like it. I mean, but it's because it's kind of made from all the leftovers of...
That's meat our ancestors used to eat.
That's, yeah. And then you just kind of mix it up with some, like, usually, like, I think a cornmeal.
Yeah, what's in Scrapple?
Wheat flour. Pork stock, pork skins, cornmeal, pork livers, wheat flour, pork fat, pork hearts, salt, spices, pork. And the dog's over there chomping her bits.
Do you want some scrapple, Shotzi? Yes. Oh my God, we had the most amazing time with battle wounds to show for it. Through St Croix Kite School, we took a lesson e-foiling. We wanted to try wing foiling, you know, the sailing, but actually it's a really great way to start, to do the e-foil first, because you're just focusing on getting used to the board. And boy, your elbows and knees get so sore trying to get up and down. It was really cool. We got up a bunch of times, and I think we're going to be quite sore tomorrow, especially in the quads, elbows and knees. This stuff is amazing. Rust seems to be a constant thing you battle on your tools, any tools that are left out. These are our cinch straps that we use to hold our dinghy and pedal board in place when we are on passage. And look at this, after such a short time, rust everywhere.
Well, that's after the rust remover too.
And yeah, that's true. That is after the rust remover. It was coated, just solid rust everywhere.
All right, ready.
You were filming me? Dork.
That's...
I made these bean bags. Unfortunately, this one with the silver, all of it, it's like paint. It's just peeling off and it's horrible and rough, but oh well, it's still usable for now. But I had added these bits of webbing so we could put a carabiner and attach it on the front so they don't fly away in the winds. Anyway, this one got ripped out, and I don't want to take the whole thing apart here because you can see all those little beads wanting to fall out. So I'm using from our medical kit a curved needle to sew it. Ta-da! It's like a hook.
My mother and my biological dad were stationed in Okinawa, Japan. That's where I was born. So I was born into a military family and have pretty much spent my entire life in a military family, because even though my mom divorced my biological dad in, I don't know, 76, 77, shortly thereafter, she met my dad, whom I call my dad, my stepdad, but he's my dad, because he's been so influential. Yeah, I mean, we would end up being stationed in Germany for numerous years, a handful of years in Virginia and Alabama, but it was a significant influence in my life to join the military, because I truly do believe that everybody should do something for our country, whether it's civil service or military, whatever. You pick it, you choose it, but do something. So here I am 30 years later after being in the military, and we're living on a boat, which I had never imagined, because when I cross-commissioned from the Air Force Academy to the Army, I was ruling out my options, and I was like, do I want to live on a boat for 6 months? Navy. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I was really focused on leadership because I wanted to have something on my resume, and I loved flying. And so I ended up being a helicopter pilot for the Army for 30 years. I'll be really, truly, honestly, 15. But, you know, no, I don't regret my decision.
So how did we get here?
Oh, that's a long story. What I wanted to talk about is my beginnings. I also grew up a military brat, but never lived overseas like Dennis. In Germany, we were gonna go there, but it didn't happen. Whatever. The funny thing is, we practically overlapped in Alabama because both our dads were Army and on the same path. And his dad flew
Hueys.
Hueys.
UH-1s.
UH-1s, whereas my dad flew Chinooks. Crazy enough, so did Dennis fly Chinooks. And my brother-in-law and sister-in-law.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy that we actually met on Match, of all places. And on my Match profile, because I was the sailor and I had this dream of sailing the world, in my Match profile it said, do you want to sail the world with me? And here we are. We're doing it. We're sailing the world.
So if you want to increase the efficiency of your solar panels, you got to swing the boom over to give the panels full exposure to the sun. And you can see that we're pulling 23, of course it drops to 14 right now, but we were, because the cloud cover's coming over. We are getting some awesome solar input. We have 2,400 watts of solar up on the coach roof and one over the dinghy davit. And you can see how much we're putting in. This is pretty good. Trick is to keep that boom swung way out so all the panels are exposed. And right now we're getting full sun. It's probably about 2 in the afternoon here in Gallows Bay. When you complete a passage, sometimes you just have the craziest ingredients left over, like toast. It just went off.
Ah.
So you come up with ways to get rid of stuff, and we happen to have a bunch of cheeses that we've accumulated along the way. And we also had a bunch of onions that needed to go. So what better way to combine everything and make a French onion soup? That's what we're gonna have for dinner tonight.
We have a mix of cheeses, Gruyere, a little bit of mozzarella, and smoked Gouda. Again, just using up cheeses. We have our soup here. And you're supposed to just sprinkle some in. And then we have our stale bread. And watch this. So now I'm gonna taste test it. Probably should have let the cheese melt. Oh yeah. Oh, that's so good. We did good.
And so here we have our final crew member, Schatzi. Schatzi means sweetie in German, and it was named by my mother when we adopted her. She was 10 and a half when we adopted her. We're the third owners. And what's hard to believe is that someone would give up such a cute, adorable little dog. We think the first owners gave her up because she needed some bladder surgery, which they weren't willing to pay for, so they sent her to an adoption agency. Then another couple picked them up, moved from Washington State to Virginia, where they were about to have a baby, and they felt that an older dog wouldn't be a good fit. So we lucked out because it was during the height of COVID when everybody wanted a dog. So here she is, now part of our family. She is also a shellback. She's made the entire journey with us. This is amazing.